Good day to you and thank you for joining. Welcome to Newsflash, and this is the series in which we go through some of the week's biggest headlines and examine the English behind them. So, without further ado, let's get stuck in. Okay, here we go, over at The Guardian. So, the headline is, here we are, last chance. WHO reveals new team to investigate COVID origins. All right then, so reveal, that means they are showing us the thing they are talking about. So they will reveal the new team to investigate. There we are. To investigate, a verb, means to examine something closely, find out about it. There we are. And they want to investigate the COVID origins, it seems. All right, let's have a look at the subheading here. A group of 26 experts will also be tasked with examining new pathogens and how to prevent future pandemics. Okay, interesting word that we have here. Pathogen, it's a noun, countable. A pathogen is simply anything that can cause disease, sickness, or illness in a plant or an animal. Okay, so they want to look at pathogens and find out how these pathogens can cause sickness and illness in animals and plants. Okay then, so here we are. Let's read the first paragraph. The World Health Organization has unveiled a team of scientists. It wants to revive the stalled inquiry into COVID-19's origins, with one senior official saying it may be the last chance. Okay, let's get that into the language focus mode. Okay, here we go, into language focus mode. Right then, so the World Health Organization has unveiled. Okay, so this word is a verb here. To unveil something means to reveal something. Let people see what something is like. Okay, so the WHO, they have unveiled a team of scientists. It wants to revive. Okay, another verb here. To revive something means to bring something back to life, or to continue something that was stopped previously. The job will be to revive the stalled inquiry. Okay, ADJ, we've stalled here, ADJ, and then inquiry, noun. Okay, so stalled. If something is stalled, it means it is stopped, or it has been paused. So, inquiry is the noun, and inquiry is another word for investigation or question. And that's what the team are doing here, okay, so into is usually used after inquiry here. An inquiry into something. An inquiry into who stole my ice cream. I don't know who it was, but we're going to find out who stole my ice cream using this inquiry here. Oh yeah, that's a serious crime. All right, so that's what it's all about, this story. With one senior official, senior, high up position in an organization, the opposite would be junior. So the boss is a senior, and then the lower level supervisors and employees, they will be the juniors, okay? An official here. So this can be an ADJ or a noun. In this sentence, it is a noun. So an official is somebody who represents an organization. And what the official says represents the company, okay? They speak on behalf of their company. We will see. Good luck to you, WHO team. Okay, on to the second major headline of the week. Here we go. So, BBC News. Let's see, the headline, Afghanistan. US and Taliban discuss aid in first direct talks since US exit. Okay, then here. So, aid. They want to discuss the aid that is being given to Afghanistan since the US left the country. So, aid here refers to help. Food, water, medicine, anything like that can be a type of aid. Okay. Right, so this appears to be a spokesperson here, the Taliban's acting foreign minister. So this guy, you could say, he is an official for the Taliban. You see, from that word that we looked at earlier. Okay. All right then, so the US has agreed to provide humanitarian aid to Afghanistan, the country's Taliban rulers say. The statement came at the end of their first direct talks in Qatar since US troops left Afghanistan in August. Aside from aid, the talks focused on containing extremist groups and the evacuation of US citizens. Okay, and US officials described the discussions as candid and professional, but added that the Taliban would be judged by their actions. Okay, here we go in the language focus. So, US officials, there's that word again, officials there. So these people represent the US. They described the discussions as candid and professional. Two adjectives there. Professional, well, I think we all know that one, don't we? Candid. Now this is a good one. I like this one. It's just another adjective for honest. Simple as that. Candid. Okay. Comma. But. All right, so we know it's a contrast sentence now. But the US officials added, that's what we're talking about here. The US officials added that the Taliban would be judged by their actions. Okay, so this is a phrase we use here to refer to someone's behavior. To judge somebody means to form an opinion about that person. Are they good? Are they bad? So, if you judge someone by their actions, that just means that you make your opinion about them based on how they behave. So if you see someone throwing trash onto the ground outside, then you may judge that person as being a bad person, okay? Because their action of throwing the litter is what you judge them on. Judge someone by their behavior, the things they do. So what is it saying? The US officials described the meeting as being, honest and professional, but they will judge the Taliban by how they behave. That's the important part. All right, so story number 3 takes us over to the New York Times. Okay, here we are. So the headline is Beirut News, sectarian gun battles leave 6 dead. Okay, so sectarian, ADJ here. This word describes the differences between religious groups, the conflict between them. It also refers to the effects of conflict between religions as well. Okay, so therefore we know that the gun battles are a result of sectarianism, which is the noun for sectarian. So the violence has occurred because of religious reasons, differences between religious groups. All right then, so down here, gunfire erupted at protests over an inquiry, there's that word again, inquiry, into last year's port explosion, with Lebanon mired in economic collapse and political paralysis. Okay, so here we are in a language focus mode. So, gunfire erupted, suddenly happened, erupt, suddenly happens. That's what that means there. Protests over an inquiry into last year's port explosion, with Lebanon mired in economic collapse. Okay, so to be mired in something here, that means to be completely covered in or to be involved in something. Okay, so they are mired in economic collapse. So in economic collapse, So collapse refers to when something has fallen down and has failed completely. For example, if a building falls down, it has collapsed. Okay, collapsed, S-E-D, is the ADJ. Okay, economic collapse and political paralysis. So political, ADJ for politics, paralysis. This is an interesting word. So paralysis refers to not being able to move. You are stuck. You cannot go anywhere. So political paralysis, ADJ noun, would therefore refer to the political situation is stuck. Cannot move. It cannot move. Okay, there we are. Our fourth story of the week takes us over to the Washington Post. Let's see what we have here. So the headline is British lawmaker dies after being stabbed multiple times while meeting constituents. Okay then, so a constituent is a noun, and this describes a person who is a member of a community, a group of people who live in a certain area. The noun is constituency with CY, and that refers to the area in which constituents live. So this normally refers to people who can vote in their country, in a certain area. All right, that is the headline. So down we go. Paragraph 1. London, a long-serving British lawmaker from the Conservative Party died after being stabbed multiple times in an attack Friday while meeting with constituents in a church building in his home district. Paragraph 2. Police said that a 25-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of murder and that a knife was recovered. No motive was offered. Police did not reveal the man's identity, but early Saturday, the Counter-Terrorism Division of London's Metropolitan Police Force formally declared the incident an act of terrorism. All right, let's get that one into the language focus. All right, here we go once again in the language focus mode. So, police said that a 25-year-old man. So notice the two hyphens used here. This is called a hyphenated adjective, and this simply means to combine two or more words together using hyphens to make an adjective. So here you can see this ADJ describes the noun man. 25-year-old, ADJ, man, noun. 25-year-old man was arrested on suspicion of murder. So, suspicion is the noun, and this describes when you think somebody is responsible for doing something. In this case, it's murder. Suspicion of something. Suspicion of murder. And that a knife was recovered. No motive was offered. Noun. Motive here. This is the reason for doing something. Motive comes from the word motivation. So that's what we have there. No motive was offered. The reason why this was done. Police did not reveal the man's identity. Identity, ID, who somebody is. But early Saturday, the Counter-Terrorism Division. Okay, so counter-terrorism. Let's break this word into two parts because this is actually a compound word. So counter, just counter means to go against something. The second word is terrorism, the noun here that describes the act of committing acts of terror against people. So counter-terrorism division, this is like department. So perhaps the division in a police force, they are responsible for counter-terrorism. So they are against terrorism. They do not want these attacks to happen. So they will fight against them and investigate any that do occur. So the Counter-Terrorism Division of London's Metropolitan Police Force. There we are. So a division of something. the accounting division of a company, for example. So London's Metropolitan Police Force formally declared. We have an ADV and a verb here. To formally do something means to do it in an official way. Formal and informal. We have an ADJ and the opposite. Formal and informal here. So formal is to do something seriously and professionally and in an official way, whereas informal is more casual. Okay, so formally declare is to officially state that something has happened. So in this case, the police formally declared the incident an act of terrorism. So they are saying that this incident was an act of terrorism here. And there we have it. That's all for this week. I hope you've enjoyed this Newsflash episode and that you've managed to learn lots of new vocabulary from it. I hope you have a nice weekend and I hope to see you again soon. Cheerio!